I want to go to Congresswoman Karen Bass. Ben Crump mentioned Eric Garner and the "I can't breathe." Both of those two men saying that it is searing how similar that is. But I also think about the Rodney King situation that took place in your state, in California. That was another instance in which just the people's raw anger and frustration boiled over, and not from nowhere, from seeing a man die, or a man deeply injured. Your thoughts, Congresswoman?
Well, first of all, absolutely. I certainly thought about and remembered Rodney King in 1992. I was right in the center of that. And when the Rodney King beating happened, that was really the first time we actually saw something on video. And I know this sounds terrible to say, but many of us who had worked so many years to address police abuse said, finally, they have to admit what happened, because for so many years, when the police would attack you, what would happen is that then you would get arrested for assault on a police officer. But we were certain that because there was a video that everything would turn out right. And when it didn't, and Los Angeles blew up right on the corner of Florence and Normandy, it was just awful. Many people died. It went on for 3 days. It was the largest civil arrest in U.S. history. And so when I watch what is happening today, it is just so painful. It almost feels like open season on Black folks, because you saw what happened in Central Park. And, I just think about it for a minute. If you could imagine if that police officer had been there and he had had his knee on the neck of an animal, on a dog, for 8 minutes and killed that dog, there would have been massive outrage. Massive outrage. The woman who called the police in Central Park, she had her dog. She lifted him up by his collar. He was a rescue dog. Do you know they took that dog back because they didn't like the way she treated the dog? She put that Black man at risk. He could have lost his life. You have that. You have the citations that have happened in New York with African Americans and Latinos not necessarily wearing the protective gear or doing social distancing. And you counterpose that to hundreds of white folks at a swimming party, or what you mentioned, the people that went to the State House in Michigan fully armed, no protection, screaming in the faces of the police. The comparison is just a little bit too much. That's why it feels like open season. And I know the police have a tough job, they do, and I like the fact that a number of police departments were outraged by what they saw. I think the mayor has handled it beautifully. I'm concerned that the governor is calling out the National Guard. What they need to do is arrest these individuals immediately. If they do an investigation and for some reason decide they're not guilty, then fine. But how is it that you can murder someone in cold blood, you lose your job? I'm glad the police department did that, and you don't get arrested? Where is the justice?